Okay, Jay here. One of the very most important things you can do to your bike is to take care of it well with good maintenance, and that starts with washing your bike after you ride. Now, we don't wash our bike every time, but we do it most every time. These bikes got ridden the last 2 days, which is very rare for us to have dirty bikes in the van for 2 days, but going to show you how we wash these things. I've learned a lot of things from other guys over the years, factory mechanics, different guys, and how they wash and prep. And it's not just simply washing. We have a process we go through. So we're going to give you some tips on that right now. So as soon as we start, we take these things straight out of the van, out to the road in front of our house where we have this room to do it. It's great if you have room to do it. We don't like to put them in the garage all dirty and making a mess, so we get them straight out here, and we're gonna tape them up and get started. So as you can see, using the hose, I like to just get them wet. That's kind of a pre-soak. I kind of do that while we're doing this. One of the things you notice, we tape up the big access area so we're not getting water directly into the bike. One of the things I have, we have little jobs. So there's multiple guys working. So Spencer has a job, and he knows while I'm starting on the bikes, he's in there cleaning out the van, getting the gear bags sorted out, and I'm hosing off the bikes. When hosing them off, a lot of times gets rid of a lot of the dirt. And then I keep a good power washer. I have a Karcher with a Honda motor. Those Honda motors, as we know, are really good long term. So I got that Honda engine. And as I'm power washing the bikes, I'm looking for stuff that I'm doing. And you see how we have both bikes laid over? A lot of guys don't want to do this. They're lazy. Well, I have a helper with Spencer. I have him to help us. Now, when we lay over a bike, here's some ones with skid plates. We pull the skid plates off. And we do that most every time. Not every time. And on our two strokes, it's kind of a hassle to do it, so we don't do it. But on the ones that are a lot easier to do, and we know we're going to do an oil change, we for sure pull the skid plates off. And as you can see, now watch Spencer. He's going to flip the bike over to the other side of the bike. And we're not laying it on the grip really hard. As you can see, we lock the bike, the front end, when we lay it down. And then that's allowing it to where it's not really tearing up the grip so much. And if you lay the bike down here, you have way more access to really get after the whole bike washing. To really be in there pressure washing it really well and looking for problems. As you can see with our skid plates, like to get those off and keep all the hardware and just go set it in the garage. And now, we have little tasks we do where, as you can see, Spencer's here, and he's spraying down the bike. We use scrubbing bubbles, which is a very easy cleaner on the bike. It's not difficult it doesn't wear through stuff and doesn't hurt it. And Spencer's, like on these aluminum frame bikes, he's scrubbing it with an Scotch-Brite pad, and he scrubs the frame, he scrubs the seat, and scrubs the frame and looks for spots. The entire time both of us are working, we're looking for anything that needs special attention. So with two of us doing it, it's really fast. This entire process, it doesn't take too long with two people. And we like to wash and then really be paying attention to what, if there's any spots or anything that's broken or missing, and that's really important. So as you can see, Spencer and I kind of do this in a way where he's already, now I'm washing the other bike while he's moving that one on. Now he's gonna go do that. Now, if you're doing this by yourself, if you're doing it by yourself, then you're usually just doing one bike. And so there's many times where I'm washing just one bike by myself, and I do the same process. It is easier for me, honestly, doing two bikes with two of us, because I have Spencer to move everything down. I'm not picking up bikes, laying them down. But if you don't lay the bikes down, you don't really get everything. The dirt comes from the bottom up. All the race team guys, they all wash their bikes. They lay it down and wash them. And you can lean it on a bike stand if you have an extra bike stand around, and lean it on there if you can. I like laying it down the way you saw us do it, because you can do that. And you saw I just pulled the tape off this bike, because this one we just started. Spencer's running in here, and it's running. So we like to start it as soon as possible. Get it started, and then bring it into your shop. You can see our shop, Spencer got it all ready. We got a good compressor set up. I've had this compressor for 20 years. Ingersoll Rand compressor. And we're start blowing off. And typically we're not just blowing aimlessly. He's looking for spots that are all the joints, especially the wheels, the bearings and the hubs, the steering stem bearings, all the electronics and all these newer bikes. Very important to get those blown off. So he's by the throttle body, foot peg, the chain. You really want to blow this chain off, get all that water out of those rollers, and then we're going to lube that with a WD-40 or MPPL type lube and get some oil in there. The seat cover is really important to blow off because all those seams take water in. So, and while he's blowing that off, I'm finishing up this last bike, and then I'll start it, and then I'm bringing it in as well. So we bring it in, and I think in this case, this one took a little while to get started because we got a little water in there. And these Yamahas, the way the intake is a little harder to block off from getting water in. So we have a little system, and you can see in my shop here, I've got a towel down. We got the stand on the towel. We kind of know what we're doing all that. We didn't put the power washer straight away because we're going to wash some bikes after we shot this video. So again, now each of us has a job. You can see we're running around and we're blowing everything off and wiping it down. See, you get some lube here on a bike with cables. You want to get some lube in there, and we lube the foot pegs, we lube the chain. Those are all very important. And then we go through the wheels. Someone will be on the wheels and actually clean in between each spoke. And as you're doing so, you're feeling for loose spokes. It's important to really have a good process here. So you're looking all around the bike, and as you can, again here we adjust on this. Yamaha has a clutch cable as well, so you want to do that. And you can see we blew out really well in the foot peg area there, making sure there's no mud packed in there. Chain blocks, shifter, all those components you want to make sure that you get really blown out well. I like to spray some silicone spray under the fenders for next time. It also helps, the air box, that black area right there will get a lot of, it'll dry out a little bit. You see the tape, we put tape on the rear fender, and then straight away then we'll make any notes about anything we have. Here's our hour meter. We keep track of the hours. We bleed the forks after every ride. That blue tape is important because we like to put that on there if we notice anything. Like here when we're cleaning the wheels, we like to notice if there's any spokes loose, we'll go write it down on there. Because not always do we have time to straight away fix everything on the list. We look at that hour meter and determine, hey, when's the last time the oil was changed? We usually change it. That can range drastically. See how we check the chain? We check the chain on both bikes. We like these things to be ready to go. So we're going through and we're checking hours on both bikes. We want to make sure that if there's anything that needs to be done, it's getting written down. And we clean the wheels. We put a little bit of lube on our rag and then clean in between each spoke, and also clean the hubs. Again, like I said, we have our tape on here, and we're ready to write down anything that needs to be done. I'm writing down if air filter, oil change, because many days we just get back from riding, and then we get it washed, get the basics done, and then we're on our way. Okay, so some of the important things to not forget, I feel like, is to, when you're spraying under the fenders, lube the chain when you're done, checking your chain, and really looking for any missing bolts or anything broken or worn out that you might have missed. And of course, don't forget to start the bike after you washed it. Those are very important things I like to really look for. As far as anything else to really go after, I think it's those are the main things to do, and to really be looking, like I said, with a purpose, and to keep track well of your maintenance schedule. That's really important. So keep track of your hours of when you do your maintenance, oil changes, and so forth. And then I like to check filters. Of course, if you're riding and it's perfect conditions, you probably don't even need to check your filter that day. But if you're riding in dusty conditions, pay attention, check your filters. Okay, so that's a wrap on all of that. Hopefully all those tips throughout this thing helped you. That took us 30 minutes with two of us doing two bikes. Now, and we've worked together a long time, and he knows what I expect when I just give a head nod or something, crack the whip. So he's pretty good. And I've had a few helpers over the years that are all really good. So that's really nice. Now, if you're doing it by yourself, then obviously it's gonna be double that, if not more, because now you gotta have somebody else, you gotta do everything, the bike flipping, all that. So hopefully those tips help you out. These bikes are all completely done for us. Like if somebody were to call us tonight and say, hey, we're gonna ride tomorrow, or text me, hey, we're gonna ride tomorrow to private track, we're ready to go. I put the blue tape on there, as you saw, and I mentioned that I keep the notes on there, so then I know anything left that I need to address. That's really important that you keep track of that. So, but these bikes are basically done. I got a couple little notes for us to do on both bikes with some loose spokes and some air filters we're gonna check, and oil changes. So what I like to do is get them all done so they're ready to ride if you had to. At a moment's notice, there's Armageddon or zombies or anything, you're ready to ride. And I like that. And that's a good practice, so you're ready to go. I have buddies over the years, my bike's not ready, man. Well, that's lame. Your bike should always be ready. So, good motto in life. So 30 minutes it took us exactly, and I think we kind of took our time. But and just so you know, why don't you show these? We're gonna wash 5 more real quick, or at least 4 more. They're all different levels of dirty. So we're gonna wash these 4 more right now, and they're all just dual sports and just got lightly dirty. But we're gonna wash them all real quick. So that gives you a rough idea. I think it gives you a pretty good idea of the things to look for. Again, when you're washing this bike, you want to really be looking for things. You need to find any loose bolts. We found brake pads rear brake pads on the Honda that need to be changed. A lot of times if you're not paying attention to that stuff, when you're washing the bike, you catch that stuff. So really important. So hopefully those tips help you out, and we'll see you out at the track or trail soon.